Hola, this is a general love reading. It is only a general reading, so it will not resonate with everyone. But if you want to comment down below your sun, moon, rising, Venus signs, I will be sure to do a reading for those signs. And if you want a more personal reading with me, you can find my email down below and we can go from there, okay? I have a big passion for love and relationships, and I want to help you attract the relationship you desire. And so my readings will generally cover the relationship you have with yourself, because from that space within the relationship you have with yourself, your outside world will attract that relationship. So that is what I look at. I look at the overall general energy within yourself, your blockages, and your guidance to help you uncover those blockages and help the energy flow. We have light and shadow aspects within ourselves, all of us. So if I see shadow aspects at play, I won't sugarcoat it. I will call it out for what it is so that we can integrate it into your experience and you can show up more authentically in your relationships, okay? And I will try to do it as loving as possible. All right, guys, I hope wherever you are, you're having a great day, great night, and I'm wishing you well. Let's do this. Thank you, Father, for this reading. Please let us know what the readers here need to know for their highest good and the good of those around them. I love you. Amen. I also read intuitively, so give me a little bit. If you find that I'm too slow, you can just hold down the screen and I'll be on like fast forward. All right, the underlying energy is the Hierophant, which represents traditions and commitment. So that is a huge energy influencing these. Commitment may be on your mind here, or traditions may be heavy in the way that you present yourselves or the way that you operate. Okay, your overall energy, we've got the Seven of Pentacles, which is telling me that you've invested into something and you're still waiting for the fruits of your labor here. We've also got the Seven of Swords, which is you're being strategic about something. I feel like you're being strategic about avoiding a broken heart, like just protecting your heart. But I feel like in that space, like operating in a space like that keeps you in a state of emotional apathy. These Four of Cups here represents, like emotional dissatisfaction, emotional laziness too. I've heard that before and that resonates. It's similar to emotional apathy and just disconnecting from your heart space. There's also Six of Wands here in your overall energy. You are being recognized. Six of Wands can also be just in a prideful state here. I can feel that there's hurt and disappointments and loss from past relationships here, but there is still a desire to commit. And at the bottom of the Hierophant, we've got Two of Cups and Six of Pentacles. So there's a really strong desire for equal give and take in a relationship here, okay? That is what we want here. And with the Wheel of Fortune in your overall energy, it's saying it is your turn. All right, the wheels have turned in your favor to give you an opportunity to experience this, okay? So this is your overall energy at the moment. Your blockages, we've got the King of Swords, which is a very emotionally detached king. So it's just operating a lot from the headspace, and yeah, like that being in your blockage is, yeah, just telling me that you're more in your head rather than your heart. And we've also got Knight of Wands, so this could also be driven like a very impulsive energy, impulsive and inconsistent energy. And we've also got the Nine of Swords here, which is telling me there's a lot of fears, worries, a lot of worrying, a bit of anxiety here about what could happen. It's like not wanting to give, like the thoughts that you replay in your mind are hindering you from being in your heart space. There's too much mental activity, rather than really checking in with what's going on in here. And in your guidance position, we have the Five of Cups, which represents disappointment, loss, and regret. So this being in your guidance is really telling me to just face these parts of yourself. Because we've, next to the Five of Cups, we've also got the Moon, which has to do with your subconscious, also your fears and illusions. But it's more so like fears that you're holding. I'm feeling like fears from past disappointments and regrets, and that I feel like that fear is hindering you from seeing, you know, the Two of Cups that is still standing, which is behind this commitment card. Two of Cups there is still, it's in your energy, you know, like it's in your energy field. There is that opportunity to still experience that fulfilling relationship. But with this in your guidance, it's really telling me to face your fears, to feel what you need to feel, you know. In your overall energy, we've got the, sorry guys, give me a sec. We've got the Seven of Swords with the Three of Swords here. So it's really just being strategic about getting your heart broken, because I felt that you've had it broken before previously, so you just don't want that to happen again. But the thing is, if we want to have a fulfilling relationship, we need to put our heart on the line, and that is the cost. That is the cost. I mean, it's not to say to just give it so willingly, but there is a need to learn from the past disappointments and loss. Like, what happened? What are the things that happened in your previous relationship experience? Like, what are the lessons? What lessons can you take away from that you can integrate moving forward? Because if we just hold on to the disappointment, loss, and regret, rather than really understanding how it came to be, it takes two to create that experience. So it's like, what aspect of yourself attracted that experience, so that you can face it and integrate that lesson moving forward. Next to the Moon, we've got the Death card. So it's like an old way of being needs to die. It could be, you know, how in intimate relationship, Teal Swan says something, if you don't face your childhood traumas, your romantic relationships will, because in that space is where you're most vulnerable. You know, you're giving the most vulnerable parts of yourself to somebody. And I feel like there's an aspect of ourselves. I'm just gonna say ourselves because I'm here with you. Don't mind my nails, my kids painted these. There's an aspect of ourselves that needs to die, that needs to be reborn. And I'm strongly getting it's maybe we've been very like reactive in the past, and we've let our heads get in the way more. We've let our like minds, the thoughts that we've created in our mind, get in the way of being vulnerable and being open and being honest about how we really feel. That is strongly what I'm getting here. It's just like to feel the grief. With the Three of Swords in your overall energy, there is a strong need to feel that grief first, and to just cry it out, to just let it out and alchemize it. That is so important, to alchemize that energy. It's an energy, you know, that grief, it's a heavy emotional, it's a heavy energy being stored in your emotional body. You know, if we want to attract a really loving, high vibrational relationship, we need to release those dense energies, because we are light bodies. We are abundant beings. That is our natural state of being. But when we hold on to these kinds of energy in our energetic field, in our emotional body, we can feel quite heavy, and then our outer experience is going to match our inner experience. So there is a really strong need to feel these emotions. I find it can be so different for everyone. Sometimes it's hard to feel your emotions, which is what I'm getting here, but we need to find something personal to us that helps us to open our heart space, to open that gateway. Like for me personally, music is like one of my things that can really just make me feel the feelings that I need to feel. Because sometimes, like, I know it's in my head, like I know that it's in my emotional body, but sometimes I can't get it out. So I really like set aside a time with myself, and this is building relationship with yourself. Set aside a time for yourself. I remember doing this, and I put headphones in and I just put some, you know, piano, sad sounding music, but that really helped to open up my heart space and feel the grief I needed to feel for the past relationships that I had that you know, ended in heartbreak and whatnot. So there's a strong need to feel those feelings and release that dense energy in your body, so that you can be reborn, and transformed from that. So I hope that helped in any way. I know that wasn't the most lightful reading, but I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I think it's important to feel everything on the emotional spectrum. All feelings are accepted, but not all behaviors are accepted here. And I think, you know, what I was saying earlier about maybe acting from a subconscious place, which is what I'm getting here with the Knight of Wands, like a reactivity kind of energy. You're more like, if you're finding yourself to be reactive in your relationships rather than being conscious of the choices that you're making, there is a strong need to like face that within yourself and understand that, understand the root of that, so that you can find ways to regulate that. And also it just helps to understand those aspects of yourself so that you can articulate that in a relationship you have with anybody. Anyways, I'm going to just leave this here. I hope it helped you. And again, if you want to comment your sun, moon, rising, Venus signs below, so maybe it could be like an extension of this. If it resonated with you, just comment it down below, and subscribe, and just look out for me on my next post. Thank you so much. I'm your mystic mama, and I love you so much. Mwah.